not quite. Is that on there, Danielle?
Yeah, yep, it's now.
Okay.
Okay, folks,
Yeah.
it's that time again. It's 5 o'clock on the 25th, and we're eagerly waiting to give you information. After David wakes up,
Pardon me. Been a long day.
we'll start with Danielle, our town clerk.
Okay. Well, it's been very busy this week. The November election, I ran a report first thing this morning, and we had 153 absentee requests at that time, which we got a lot more today, so people are coming in regularly. 89 ballots have been returned so far. We're seeing a lot of people requesting absentees that historically have not done this in the past, so it's good. For the general election, voting will be open from 8 to 8, Tuesday, November 8th. The town office will be closed that day for normal business. We will also be early processing absentee ballots Monday, November 7th. Inspection time for those absentee ballots are 8 to 9 a.m. prior to processing. We do have a new ballot box for outside, and I just want to talk a little bit about that installation. I guess the really big thing is there's two options we would like to discuss as far as a location. One would be on the sidewalk to provide a drive-up location for people and to be handicap accessible. The other would be to install a post near the handicap ramp to provide an accessible ballot drop for people. The major concern is just easily accessible for people, regular, and just people who would have a disability or in a wheelchair. So I guess I'm looking to you guys on what your feelings are on that.
I don't understand the post installation.
I spoke to Jesse Winters this morning and asked his opinion, and we talked a little bit about drilling holes in the concrete, and you were concerned with the freezing and thawing and chipping the concrete. He recommended a post near the ramp. That way we wouldn't have to really, there wouldn't be any holes and it could stay there. He also said that we could probably get some drop pins if we did decide to do it in the sidewalk, and just do drop pins so there would be no snow or ice inside those holes. And we could remove the ballot box so it wouldn't be knocked around by the plow or shoveling or anything.
So drop pins just to cover the holes.
Just to basically cover the holes.
Okay.
You're securing, I'm confused. You're securing the ballot box beside like the handicap, so that it could be a drive-by or like postal drop boxes?
Yes, that's what it's for like after hours.
Okay, and how would that be secured to the sidewalk?
It would be bolted basically.
Okay,
Yep,
and that could stay there forever, or
either way.
we
yeah.
could unbolt it when the election's over and just till the next election type of thing?
That's what we were wondering. They really stressed the need for almost like a drive-up scenario for people, so they didn't have to get out of their car.
Right.
So that's what we were really looking for, if possible, just so it was easier for people.
So the post, and excuse my ignorance, the post would go where?
We actually went outside and looked, and he recommended right next to the handicap sign, off by the bushes there. He said if they really had to, they could kind of drive onto the sidewalk. I don't know about that, but ideally, I guess what we'd really like is it on the sidewalk, so people could just drive up, drop it off, and continue. That seems like the easier solution.
And what would the post then do what?
We wouldn't have a post.
Oh, okay.
It was bolted to the sidewalk.
Okay.
And we just have to remove it before the plows came out and shoveling.
And they can secure it so we won't have any ballot boxes stolen.
Yeah, I think David looked at it.
Yeah, it would take some concrete anchors and bolts. Yeah, it's set up for that.
Well, that's, if there's a vote, that's my vote to make it easily accessible. People
Yeah.
can just drive and put their ballot in,
That's what we were hoping.
and you empty it every day or every evening before you, or every morning, I guess, whatever.
Yep. That's the idea of it.
Yeah, the post doesn't seem to gain you anything. If you're gonna put it on the post, you might as well put it back here by the door.
Well, he was saying the posts off to the side, off the sidewalk, so you'd actually dig in and concrete
Right.
in a post.
Right,
And that way you wouldn't drill into the sidewalk.
right. The way I'm looking at it, the post doesn't save you anything from putting it back here.
You still have
except
to get
10
out of your
steps.
car, what
You
he's
still have
saying.
to get out of your
Oh,
car.
exactly.
I don't think people would
Yeah.
drive up there.
Oh, there-
I don't think we want to recommend that.
There was just a lip going onto the building, which we really didn't like, because just that extra step for people is just
Yeah.
really not doable, I don't believe. Okay.
Go for it.
You all agree?
Yeah, I'm fine with either, whatever you feel, it doesn't matter to me. And
Okay.
I almost think a permanent thing, instead of trying to move it, like, when there's no election.
Right.
I know it's only used once a year, but pulling those pins in and out, they just wear out, you know what I'm saying?
Are
Those
they
concrete lags.
concrete lags or bolts with pins with bolts coming out of them?
Well, if you leave a pin coming out of the ground, you can't shovel it, or someone's
Right.
gonna trip over it, or,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And,
Now,
That's
does-
true.
Does Maya plow this sidewalk?
well, they like to, and I don't care if they don't, I just assume they didn't, I just assume they shoveled it, but
Well,
getting that to happen is probably another story, but
this'll force that issue a little bit.
that's kind of what I was
which-
thinking, that if they had to shovel around it, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but
Okay, I guess I'm concerned about what the feelings are there with Maya.
I'm not worried about Maya's feelings, I heard them all the time.
Okay,
Jeez.
okay.
Either way, whatever you decide, I think it'll be fine, yeah.
Second question, I guess who's gonna install it? Is David, were you gonna install it, or?
Oh, well, I have a hammer drill, if
Okay.
that's what it
You
comes
do?
down to, and we
Okay.
can do it, that's not a big deal, if that's
Yeah.
what you decide, we may just gotta get a post somewhere, a post.
No, we're not
right?
doing the post.
Oh, what does it have to bolt it?
But to the
It's gonna
sidewalk.
bolt to
Going-
the sidewalk.
How tall is it? Does it have legs or something?
Yeah,
Oh, it does? I
I mean,
just
we
saw
can look at it
Okay.
after the meeting, yeah.
I just saw a
You thought it
box.
was a little box?
I just thought it was
Yeah.
a box and we had to build a
No,
base for
no,
it.
no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
it's self-standing,
Okay,
Self-sustaining.
all right.
yeah.
Okay. Next topic. We are gonna be changing office hours, after the election. It would be effective on Monday, November 14th. I did provide the selectmen a memo, with more detail that support these changes. The changes are as follows. Monday, 8 to 4, Tuesday, 8 to 6, Wednesday, 8 to 4, Thursday, 8 to 4. Friday, we will be closed and open by appointment only. Renee and I talked about this in great extent. We didn't take this change lightly at all, but what it boiled down to is our positions and pay are based on 32 hours. We do feel it's much safer and more efficient to have 2 people on 4 days a week rather than split days and only have one clerk working alone in the office. If there was ever a situation where there was a problem, a threat, or anything, if a clerk was to be alone on a regular basis and something like this was to happen, it would be based on a he said, she said basis. In election training, they really stressed on office safety in general, and in discussion, it really isn't a good idea to have one person in our office on a normal work schedule for many reasons.
That would be one person in the building,
One person in the building.
because Debbie's obviously not here on
On
Friday,
Fridays,
so,
yep.
yeah.
In addition to the safety aspect, we both have very strong personal reasons for both appreciating having Fridays off and working within our appropriated 32-hour work week, Monday through Thursday. Fridays would be treated as appointment-only days. This would be used for when people have expressed they simply cannot make it to the office due to work or personal commitments. when people call and ask what the office hours are, we will ask if those hours work for them, and if they do not, we will work out a time that works for both sides. Whether it be staying a little later or coming in for an appointment on Friday. We by no means want to restrict access to the town office, but in the same sense, we want to be fair and safe for ourselves. So the plan is, after this meeting, the changes will be running in the shopper's guide for 2 weeks and posted on Facebook and the website immediately.
Now, are you still doing the first Saturday of the month?
No. it will
Okay.
not be.
If the only reason I have any issue with this whatsoever is if we start to get a lot of complaints, you know what I mean? If
Yep.
we did, but other than that, I'd go for it and try it.
Yep, it was
And
like
it-
that for a couple of years, and it seems like people got used to it, so.
Yeah.
Danielle, will be both of you staying on Tuesday nights?
Yes.
Just-
Yep, because you guys will probably be leaving, we'll be here by ourselves.
Okay, so.
That and one of you's in here, you're in here, so nobody would be over there.
So are you each gonna leave early one day? Because that gives you 2 hours.
It doesn't matter, Renee will definitely be under the 32 hours, the 32 on
Yeah.
salary, so I'll probably just be here.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, well, I think Ed's idea is the best. Give it a try and see how it works. You know, appointments are okay, but I will warn you, people have trouble keeping that kind of appointment. So don't get too frustrated when you show up and they don't. And I do worry about access, but give it a try and see how it works.
Yep. It didn't seem like an issue for a couple years, so.
Well, that was because of COVID now. I mean, there was a good reason for that. It had nothing to
Yeah.
do with anything else.
So these are the hours, just in general, just the 2022 taxes received to date, we've got over 2 million, so those are steadily coming in.
Yeah, and you'll be busy in the next week. I guarantee you.
Your calendar that you posted
Yes,
is magnificent.
thank you,
It looks very good.
thanks Ed.
Now, like November would come out like the 1st or 2nd of November type of thing?
We should have November out already, we should have yesterday, so yeah, we'll get that out.
Okay, super, super
And it's
duper.
on the website as well in a big format, easy to read.
Good, good.
Are you gonna be able to post 2 months on the website? Is that your plan? Okay, good, good. That was my only concern when you did away with the rolling one. That, you know, you got to the end of the month and all of a sudden you're gonna flip over, so
Yeah. we
people
should
would
have it up
notice
by now,
things, yeah.
so, Yep,
Okay,
Outstanding.
good. Okay,
All right.
Thank you.
thank you.
thanks,
You've done good.
thanks Ed.
Okay, let's, I got something here that just, we talked about briefly. I just wanted to get everyone's concurrence or disconcurrence. You remember when Cornish was putting a tower up and replacing the tower, they had communication tower?
They haven't done it yet.
No, but they
Oh.
were planning to do it. They're
Okay.
planning to do it.
Okay,
And they
yeah,
wanted some comment. We all said, that's a great idea and whatever.
yeah,
So, but they wanted something in writing.
okay.
So I just wrote, the Parsonsfield Board of Selectmen supports the actions of the town of Cornish in their effort to upgrade the communication capabilities of Cornish and the surrounding communities.
Okay,
So
that's a little broad, but that,
Hey, it's-
I can go along with that, yeah.
that's all. So I just, Deb? I'm sorry, I awoke Deborah. If that can
Yeah.
send that out, thank you. All right, thanks, folks. That was tough, huh? All right, so now, back to our, oh, I didn't notice all the,
Yeah, that's basically what she just.
I know, I was just gonna say, son of a gun, 2 pages. Okay, we're reviewing, this week's agenda and last week's minutes. And the bills to be paid. So, in order to stay nice and legal, we'll sign the warrant in a selectmen's meeting. This warrant is pretty small, $56,000. Half of it is for the Keys Falls Fire Department. $52,000 was approved for them for the year, and we're paying half of it. Two wonderful payments. No ad, are we gonna have some ads, Deb, on something? Is something up that we have to have an ad on?
I need to have an ad ready for Monday for the change in the hours for November 8th.
Okay,
For the
because
select
the
board.
select board meeting is changing from winter hours at 4 o'clock from 5. Okay, that's the only, okay. As you all know, we get the sheriff's report. We should get that next week, or maybe 2 weeks. Animal control will get something. I don't know what's happening. Anything happening with animal control that anyone knows anything about?
Nope. No, just the email that we got back when it was asked, it was commented that the charges against
Were dropped because
were
of
dropped because,
non-participation or
Yeah.
whatever.
yeah. So
Okay.
I guess I'm curious about that and why someone wasn't notified. I mean, that's, well, I shouldn't say that. Dealing with the DA's office and such that Leslie and I are now because of Leslie's accident, it is apparent that they don't communicate real well.
All right, but we can look into that, I think. and-
Yeah, I think it's worth it because, I mean, there was a lot of effort put into that initially,
Yeah.
both by our ACO and the state, and then
Falls apart.
it
so to
falls
speak.
apart. Yeah.
Planning board, our November 16th is the next meeting. Nothing going on the appeals board right now. The comprehensive committee meeting is October 25th. October 25th. Seems like that's pretty close.
That'd be today.
Son of a gun. At 6 o'clock. The comprehensive committee chair, Harvey, is here. I'm sure eagerly awaiting for his meeting. Secaucus Road, we have no update. Is David, nothing from them?
No, I'm hoping to hear from them by the end of the month. If I don't hear from them by next week, I will flag them.
Okay. Robinson Mill,
Oh, sorry, speaking of Secaucus Road,
Yeah.
while you're on it.
Yes.
Maya put one load of crushed gravel on Secaucus Road. He didn't grade it, but he put one load and smoothed it up, and it made a tremendous
I
difference.
bet. Yeah.
Yeah, just one load helped a lot.
Okay.
So I don't know how he may have seen it.
Good shape.
Yeah, it's a lot better, one load.
Good.
when
He
you
was
say,
putting the road sand in, and so he wanted it smoother, obviously, for himself, driving in and out.
Yeah.
So he put one load of crushed gravel down.
no, you said he didn't smooth it. What do you,
He didn't grade it. He put gravel down and smoothed it up,
as opposed to?
Running a grader.
running a
over it.
grader over it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So,
What do you smooth it up with?
his bucket loader.
Oh, okay.
And shockingly, it looked great. I thought he did it with a grader. It looked so good.
He's pretty talented with a bucket loader.
Yeah, he must
Pretty
be.
talented with any large equipment.
Yeah.
All right, Robinson Mill. We do have a 14-page document from the buyer's attorney. Our attorney is looking at it now. We have to read through it. It's just the purchase and sale agreement, gives some dates, some money, and there's maybe, I don't know. As everyone starts off, I'm not an attorney, but it seems like there's, 3 or 4 things that there could be some negotiation on. But that basically it seems like it should be reasonable. hopefully we can get this done. We're hoping for next week or the week after, but. So then the final sale would be commenced at a date to be determined. We'd like it as soon as possible. The Mousers would like it at the end of the litigation with the Stanley Building. So somewhere in between there is a happy medium,
Maybe.
maybe. Stanley Building, notice of hearing, there's gonna be a Zoom meeting on November 21st, only the attorneys. However, the week before the meeting, we can give you folks the ID number and the meeting number and that stuff, so anyone who'd like to listen in via Zoom will be able to do so.
You're sure that they can listen in?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Now, I talked to the attorney, he talked to the court officers, so.
Okay. Good. I hadn't heard that. That's excellent.
So, review and signatures approval. I have one thing there, okay. David wants to discuss cameras for the town office. Selectman?
Yeah, I guess with our lack of contact with Security 101, who gave us the quote that we accepted for cameras, and Ed called earlier today and hasn't heard back, I suggest that we cancel that and I will pursue other options. I mean,
Okay, well, why don't you pursue Debbie was looking at something which we got some word back on.
Yeah.
Pursue other options, I mean,
okay, well, I'm not comfortable asking for people to spend time on quotes
why?
with another option already hanging out there.
Yeah, but this is, I agree, but
If Ed just called them today,
Yeah.
we wait till 1 week?
I have
He's
called
called them
him
4 times,
Never
4
mind.
weeks.
Sorry, I thought
4
it was-
weeks.
okay,
Yeah,
from the 11th, 18th, 25th.
okay, 3 weeks, excuse me.
Yeah, well,
We
that's,
haven't signed
that's,
any.
I mean,
contracts.
I'll call you back tomorrow, I should get it installed tomorrow, I'll be there. Nothing.
Yeah.
So, David, if this person, and they can come up with a reasonable,
Well,
What
people
we're
are gonna
doing.
wanna come out like the others
Maybe.
did and look at it.
that's a possibility.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not comfortable doing that, I'm sorry. I'm just not.
So what do you want to wait? You want to
No,
cancel?
I wanna cancel.
Well, I don't want to cancel until we know that the other guy is at least reasonable.
Sounding like the mill, Ed. When is it gonna end?
It's going to end when we get a reasonable price and someone that will do it.
Well, no, when is it gonna end with Security 101?
Well, I don't want to say no and then go back to our original quote, which was $12,000 higher.
Right?
So we've given Security 101 plenty of notice. We're publicly going out, we're looking for additional quotes. Giving quotes is part of the business of doing business.
I agree, but not when you've already got an agreement with somebody.
But what agreement? We've agreed to do it, but he hasn't agreed to do it.
That's right. So let's say, no, you can't do it. Or tell him your quote's on the table with the others. We'll
Fine.
consider it when we consider the others.
Fine, that's good.
Okay. Now we have no way of communicating that to him.
Well, I'll give him another call,
Okay.
in which he will not respond to probably.
Okay.
But
All right. But if you leave him a message to
Well,
that
give,
effect.
you know the price of the quote.
Yeah.
So whoever you're thinking of,
I'm not thinking of anybody yet.
all right, well, whoever you
It's gonna be a new
find,
process.
you can give them a flavor and see if they're going to be in the ballpark. That's all. If they say, that looks like a $20,000 job to me, you maybe just say, well, thank you.
Well, that's prejudicing the whole thing, though.
Why?
Why can't I just go out and ask for quotes?
You can.
Okay, but you've got to tell this guy that you're on hold.
Well, I'll tell them we've decided to solicit other quotations. That's all.
Okay, and your quote can be part of those.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Absolutely.
Once you do that, I will start.
I'll
looking
be
at
happy
people.
to do that.
All right, thank you. No, don't do it right now.
I'll do it the minute the meeting's over.
Okay, you're on.
You're on.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay. Supplemental warrant, we did that. Rescue funds. Deb, we got this note here. What is this? The selectmen have not voted yet to request funds for the Lucas units, please. Is this Beverly's response underlined? May provide direct assistance to the nonprofit if the nonprofit has experienced in public health or negative, right, so that's what we're saying. So we think it's a reasonable thing to do. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if worse comes to worse, and they say, oh, Parsonsfield, you really screwed up, and your $10,000, we're gonna take it back and turn it into cryptocurrency or something. We have money in the rescue funds for equipment. So it's not like we can't fund it, and we have money approved, but we're just trying to use as much of the ARPA money as we can, so. All right, so.
Well, if they do it to us, they're gonna do it to Porter, Hiram, and Cornish.
Exactly.
Right.
All right, so could we vote that if it's, that we'd like to use the ARPA funds to do it,
Yep.
to get the Lucas units?
I would make that motion.
Okay, well, I'll second it. Jesse's voting affirmative, so
Yeah.
it's unanimous, Deborah.
Got it.
Thank you.
And thank you for voting on it, Ed. I appreciate that.
Well, I know you bring a different flavor to the meetings, David.
I'll process.
Okay, process,
Thank you.
which is great.
Thank
I mean,
Thank you.
sometimes we need help in our process. Sockby Rescue Funds. That was that. I'm not quite sure.
We can pay in full, or the options on the table to split it in two, or
Okay.
split it in threes.
What, for what, what's this?
This is our $87,000
Right.
rescue commitment for the year.
Oh,
How do we want to pay that? You guys have any?
I'd give them half.
Is this
Okay.
this our first one? First?
Well, all of
haven't
it,
paid
a
any.
third or a half.
The last payment has to be before the end of March.
Okay.
So if you say November and then
I'd give them half.
March,
My
I mean, the
personal-
first of March.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the way things have been going, I'd give them half.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay,
half in November and half in
beginning of March.
beginning of March, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They'll love us.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
State interim guidance, I'm glad they give you interim guidance on things, bills legislation they pass a few months ago already. They're giving us guidance. This is on LD 2003, housing legislation concerning the number of lots on a house, that type of thing. Number of houses on a lot. The number of houses on a lot. They'd like to increase the number of houses. Obviously, the rural communities, you think that's foolish. Might be good for Portland or Augusta, but not for us. Someone will be coming out here next week, 4:30, 3:30.
How about having her at 3 and then,
The workshop with a mill at 4. Okay.
is that, okay.
The meeting is still at 5 next week, correct?
Next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still at 5.
Okay, she'll explain why this may not be a big deal for us, but
Okay, so that's
On the 4, for the workshop at 4, are the select board gonna be prepared to have, is this with the Mounces or with the town attorney?
well, I'd like to get some information from the town attorney before we have the workshop with the Mouses, so we know if our things we want to change or add are legally reasonable. So maybe we could talk to David Lowry earlier than the Mounces, because by then we'll have a list of 2 or 3 things we're concerned about, and we can mention those to David Lowry.
Do you want to workshop this, the 3 of you together first?
I don't know if we need to. Well, maybe we do.
When you say 3 of us together, you mean us 3?
Us 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, this,
I think you should go and look at the unsigned purchase agreement and what some of the key
So if we
points
have
was on
something,
that.
we have at 3 with this lady, and what, I mean, we got all kinds of time, because I'm guessing it won't be a half an hour what this lady's got.
Right, I'm expecting maybe an hour, maybe, what won't be.
Less than an hour.
Less, I'm thinking a half probably.
and
Yeah,
if
that's
we
what
could
she
get in
said.
touch with
You said a
David,
half?
Yeah, she said
Yeah,
30
okay.
minutes.
Okay, so we'll call it 30 minutes, and then we can do our own thing at 3:30, and then we might as well get it all done, and then what meeting with the Mounces or with the town attorney at 4?
Mounces.
We'll meet with the Mounces at 4.
And we can talk to the town attorney at 3:30 or so, just
So we got to have stuff ready.
to clarify. You're right, so
Yeah.
this week your homework assignment,
Okay.
nightstand, bed light, all that good stuff.
So 3:30 for that, and then 4 o'clock for the Mouncers tentatively, is
Correct.
that? Okay.
And we'll try and, I mean, there might be half a dozen things we have a question on, and maybe 80% of those are the same questions we all have, so it could be just 5 or 6 questions that we all have. Obviously, this was written by the buyer's attorney,
I can tell.
and while it's not
Oh, I know it's not.
unreasonable, I mean, but seems to be not enough protection for the town. And hopefully David Lowry will show us how to do that.
I'm still concerned about the dates, too.
Well, that's one of the things you mentioned there. We
Yep.
don't want it to drag out
Yep.
forever. They're saying the minute the case gets settled with the Stanley Building, they'll sign. That's basically what they're saying.
They'll, well,
If the case gets settled, appeals and all that stuff, then they'll be all set.
well, they've got the possibility of 180 days for an environmental
Well,
study.
but that's worked into, I think they'll sign based upon approval of the environmental. I mean, it could be conditional upon, like an inspection.
Okay, all right, well,
I mean, but that's,
Yeah.
we can,
Okay.
I understand, you want to get it, get it done, and I agree, and they're saying, oh, maybe you'll get appealed, maybe this, let's do next. We've been
oh, don't I know? You
We've
don't
been
need to
involved with
remind
this
me.
for a number of years.
Yes,
It'd be nice to get it resolved. Maybe we can have a Christmas present or something for the town.
Party, Christmas
Party.
party. Yeah.
Maybe we can get the Mousers to shoot off fireworks from if it's successful.
Well, you just get them to sign the closing. Word.
All right, so
okay,
we're getting there.
yeah, so homework.
Your homework.
Yep, got it.
Tough job, Dave. You didn't have homework before, did you?
Oh, jeez, yeah. I was not real good at doing homework, but this I will do.
I wasn't either. Thanks to
Tri-Town. We mentioned that, the traffic count. This is to get state approval for Parsonsfield to use the Tri-Town facility for bulky waste. They want to do studies, are the lines out to the street and how many cars use the road, all that stuff. A lot of cars use the road, of course, because the school's on. I mean, it's a pretty popular road, but anyways. So hopefully that will get resolved in the upcoming weeks. Road commissioner, nothing. Jesse, you asked him to take our speed sign and,
He said he'd do it before winter.
okay.
Yep.
He
Well,
said there's,
that's good enough.
yeah.
I still have the key, so
Okay.
he still needs to get with me.
A selectman update, we've been talking about updates and everything. Jess, you got anything?
Nope.
Dave?
Well, if you want a planning board update, the planning board approved a site plan review for a road between the ponds for Michael Bolton, who was the builder, and Gailey Selkirk, the owner. They're basically gonna rebuild a camp that's falling off its foundation. They are not,
Same foundation type?
it'll be a new foundation, it'll be within the confines of the current foundation. Yeah. The current one also has a bunch of jogs, so they'll be straightening those out, and that's why they can stay within the.
Okay.
They are not having a workshop in November. And that's about it. I don't think I have anything else except what we've already talked about.
Okay.
Oh, can I back that up? I'm sorry.
I don't know, I guess so.
I was gonna fire up the boiler today.
Yes, you were.
The boiler didn't fire.
That was a question on mechanical. Have they done anything, said
Well,
anything?
Yes. Okay, let me finish today. When the technician was here 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, he had to disconnect some wiring in order to get the hot water circulator pump running.
Okay.
I believe that was because the controller, because of all our power glitches, has gotten into some state. So
Okay.
its control was not working and it was keeping it shut off. I believe what they've disconnected is not allowing the boiler to run now. So they need to come out, back out, reconnect that. Okay, and I think that'll get our boiler working. I emailed Dave Clay this morning. He emailed back and said he would bring it up at their scheduling meeting today. So hopefully that will be soon because we need some heat. Because we have no heat. The hot water upgrade, they said the heating loop should be delivered any day now to them.
Oh, good.
And then they will schedule when that's going to be done. Okay, so
And the water tank would go along with that?
water tank.
Hot water tank, isn't there a hot water tank involved?
No, we're not going to put a separate water
Oh,
heater.
it's all
in.
gonna be connected with
It's
the
all going to
furnace?
be the
Okay,
loop.
gotcha.
Yeah, they have to tie in that area to the loop.
Okay.
I just said make sure there's a shut off, so if we ever decide to go back to that separate water heater, we can just
Yeah.
shut the loop off there.
And
Yep.
the generator people haven't,
No, they said the next 2 weeks. Was it last week? I believe it was just last week.
to
They
put
would
the
be
pad
out
in?
to put the transfer switches in. The pad, their ground person was supposed to come out and take a look, and they didn't give me a schedule on that. They
Okay.
just said he would take a look. Yeah. Oh, and then the last piece of the heating system is the new controller,
All right.
and they said last week, sometime in the next 2 weeks. So by the end of next week, I'm hoping we get that.
Okay.
All right, I'm done.
That was a couple things. We did have a workshop with Linda Corbin concerning trash and the trash pickups, and even though there's only one bulky waste pickup now, she was very happy to hear that we're working on trash pickup with Tri-Town, not trash pickup, but bulky waste disposal with Tri-Town. So that's a good thing. I don't want to look. Probably the electronic guy, but
Could be.
he can leave a message. Deb, can you get that?
Yeah.
What's the 4 number?
Who's that? Well, you don't know all the area codes? I'm shocked.
Doesn't matter nowadays.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
All right. What else? I'm putting together for our annual report.
Mhm.
We, over the last few years, have left off some things,
Mhm.
and we should add some things.
Okay.
So, this is for in the future, but working on. sort of a page for town reports, where we have the police. They give us a report every month, so we get a yearly summation of what's happened. The CEO, he's giving us a report every month now, summation. ACO, same thing. Tire pickup, I just wrote something on that, but, you know, we've probably picked up 2,800 tires, 300 and some odd this year, so, I mean, put that in there. Bulky waste, how many tons we pick up, I don't know, but recycling has an excellent report in there.
It'd be nice if it was right.
Well, but it's not accuracy. First we want to make sure it's in there, Dave.
Okay.
Then we'll get it accurate. People have to have something to say, this isn't right.
Okay,
We'll say, you're right. And also the electronic waste.
yeah, yeah.
We mentioned maybe doing that every 2 years. We'll figure that out. But on the 3rd, we collect 11,000 pounds of waste. Now, that's 2 towns. So, you know, say 5,000 for Parsonsville. So now we want to look at, I think, and we really haven't talked about, maybe hazardous waste like paint and stuff. Is that worth a separate function? Could that be combined with electronic? So we'll have to figure that out. But these are the types of reports I'd like to see in our annual report going forward, so people can sort of get a flavor of the town and what's happening rather than just,
Absolutely.
so. Okay. With that, Harvey?
Yeah, I have a few questions here.
Well, you only get one.
Well,
Pick a good
I'll
one.
make it all one thing. Special town meeting dates, did we solve that problem? I don't remember hearing.
No, we haven't set a date.
Well, we sort of did.
We did.
I think it was December.
Right.
The first full week in December. And it does turn out that I'm gone that week,
Well, that's unacceptable.
okay?
But it was like, December 6th, I think that was the, that makes sense for people?
I think it's like the 7th. Yeah, maybe. Oh, yeah, look at that, December 6th, you're on.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
Harvey, that's going to include 3 or 4 items for the federal rescue plan funds, a budget for the comprehensive plan, and increasing it a little bit, Keys on Mountain Road and Hasty Road, closing parts of them during the winter, and
Zoning change.
a change for zoning for federal road. So, those are the items that are scheduled. And the main reason for this is the zoning for federal road, because the people have been trying to do that for a while. I don't want to postpone them any longer. But the ARPA funds, we want to make sure we have approval from the town before we start spending the government's money, even though it's really our money. Because
It's, yeah, it is, but we do need that approval.
So, other than that, folks,
I have one last question.
oh, I'm sorry, Harry, that was one, okay, go.
I just want to ask Dave if he reset the security code.
Reset,
Yeah, you turned off my security.
oh, yeah, yeah. I thought you used it last week, yeah,
No, I didn't.
yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I want to mention, even though Jeff isn't here, Jeff Wright, our usual participant in our meetings, attended the tire drop-off on Saturday, took extensive notes and counted all the tires and how many on rims and how many not on rims, and we appreciate his being there and doing that. I sat there and talked to people and drank coffee. Jeff did most of the work. So thank you. If you're listening, Jeff, thank you. And that's it, folks.